Eddie was a genius at doing things to take pressure off the boys or distract this or play a mind game there. He was brilliant at that. So it's probably just one of those other things. And he decided it was Eddie's idea to do the V. And this is just off. This needs to be fact checked, but I'm pretty sure we were going to get fined for doing that, and that it would have been discussed, and there was a fine to pay, and it was like we're doing it anyway. I think it might have been £10,000 that we,
Right.
but it was a fine that the RFU had agreed for us to incur.
Was this because Marler wandered off and
No,
did his
I
own
think
thing?
even just doing the V is a fine, and then what Marler
Right.
does is what Marler does. That was on top of that. Might have been a bit more of a fine. That might have bumped it up a bit.
Right. And what do you remember of running out and the atmosphere and the occasion of that semi-final?
Yeah.
Or were you oblivious to that?
You're more in it. You really. I look back and think, I was just in it. Like part of you're not when you're looking at that V as a picture is different to when you're standing in the V as a person. But like I said, I remember just the intensity of the physicality of that match, and the speed of it, and the team cohesion, and it all coming together on that day. It was just such a great team effort. And that's why I wasn't ready to play my best game. But like I'm so glad that I pushed it to get on the field to be a part of that team effort, where it was just such a great team performance, where we really we stuck it to them on a level that I haven't been a part of ever before or since.
Who did you stand next to in the V, and what was your game face like?
My tactic with the Haka is always just to look over it, because I think like it is not smart to like pick one of them.
We could not be any different.
Yeah,
really?
like Faz is doing his grin, and Manu always picks somebody, and I just don't think I'm tough.
Opposite number, mate.
Yeah, I'm
Opposite
not tough
number
enough to get involved in that. I always think I want to be like a strike from the long grass, go unnoticed.
Strike from the long
Yeah, I like that's not. I'm not gonna hyper. What would the word be like? Your challenge, if you were to stare them out, you're sort of like, I feel like you're fueling them. Maybe that's how I felt of it. I felt like
you're accepting the challenge.
How many planes flew over Yokohama that night?
I don't know. No, not over. No, I'm not looking up at the stars. I look just over the top of it. Like,
Ryan's bells.
Yeah.
Jonny, can you remember how Eddie actually sold you on the V? Like what the philosophy was? It wasn't D2 Mighty Ducks or whatever,
it was
was
sort
it?
of like we were going to. It was like the size of it. Do you know what I mean? It was going to like trap them. We're going to trap them, sort of thing, and just give them something.
Funnel them in.
Yeah.
The hot gates.
I read something about the idea was because it was a reverse V, right?
It's like a chalice.
So the idea is
France did the reverse V.
Yeah, so
it came out like an arrow.
The arrow
in 11, whereas England
did that. Sorry, that's what I mean. A reverse arrow.
Yeah.
Sorry, because it makes it hard for anyone to focus because it's such a wide peripheral that they can't stare at you. So it's like people, if you imagine, because I'm pretty sure people were actually faced out to try and find someone to stare at. So they weren't in their uniform shape. Some were turned that way, some were turned that way. So I thought it was supposed to be so they have to look to you, they have to find you rather than you having to find them.
Jonny, can I ask, was there any resistance to it within the camp? Did everyone buy into it and love the idea?
We didn't practice it either. It was like we're gonna.
That was evident because it actually ended up being more
it wasn't like a neat one, was it? It had a little bit curved edges. Marler was doing whatever he was doing.
I've got to be honest. I'm not sure how I would have reacted if I'd been in that team environment because I love the Haka. I get why people do it, but and they always try and swing low over the top of it and stuff, and drown. And teams want to drown it out, and the crowd want to almost retort. I actually immerse myself in it. I think it gets me as up for it as it does them. Only I'm not wasting the energy they're wasting. So, and I would exactly do the opposite to you. I'd pick my opposite number out. I remember Leon Messon was my opponent.
You're a tougher man than me.
Yeah. Well, it's a forward thing as well, probably. Yeah. And it's also a bit of familiarity with the process as well. But if someone would have said to me, we want to do gimmicky's not the right term, but if we want to do something out of the box and do something to try and put them off. And I don't know how I'd have responded to that if I wouldn't have wanted to do it. I don't think I would want to just stand opposite it and face it.
Now for a message brought to you by American Express. We all know how tricky it can be to find the right work-life balance. Amex understands that it's essential to work hard and play hard, so we wanted to share a bit about the American Express business cards.
With an Amex business card, you can earn points on your business transactions and then use those points to switch off and enjoy some downtime. For instance, you can earn points on everyday office purchases like furniture, a new laptop, or even a team's day out, and then use those points to help you unwind and recharge.
Whether it's brand new set of DJ decks for Hask or some shiny new golf clubs for Tins, or even booking that once-in-a-lifetime trip to watch the Lions on tour in Australia, the American Express business cards can help you achieve that perfect balance in life. For more information, search Amex Business Card. Terms and annual fees apply. 18 plus. Subject to status. Did you see the thing that's going viral at the moment between Samoa and England in the rugby league?
Oh, the league.
And they are literally nose to nose.
Yeah.
It is absolutely
head
game
touching
on.
at one point, and then they're like, right, let's
Yeah,
go
yeah.
at the end of it.
But everyone is saying, why on earth are the Kiwis doing it in their own 22 and England are almost under their post? Why not bring it back together? Okay,
but
let's
we've
not
done-
have it necessarily nose to nose, but let's fucking make it eyeball to
Rugby
eyeball.
won't allow it.
But this
will
is the
they?
point. Is
And
the game union I'm talking about now, has it got to start
But we've-
embracing the opportunities that are staring it in the
Well,
face?
everyone still remembers the Norm Hewitt and
I mean,
Richard
it made
Cockrell,
icons of both of them.
Yeah. And I think I was going to say the fact that where it goes is when I watched the 03 one back, it wasn't mic'd, so you couldn't hear it. So I think Carlos Spencer might have led it, but you couldn't hear it. And like Barnsley's talking over it. Whereas now it's because it's so well mic'd up and
right
everything,
in front,
everyone can hear it. You don't get the over the top of it. Whereas when it wasn't, you could.
Do you know,
sing
if
over
I
the
was
top
at RFU Towers this week, I would write to the New Zealand Rugby Football Union and say, should we do it 5 yards apart? And I'd say to World Rugby, we're doing this and we're not paying any fine.
So France have tried numerous ways, and actually they've probably been their bogey team, but they started on because it's 10-10 normally, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You got to be behind the 10 metre
and then
line.
once they started, they walked to the halfway line, didn't they? But they didn't cross over the.
Well, they started
halfway line.
as an arrow, and then they did actually overstep the 10 metre line, and then they got fined off the back of one of the great iconic Rugby World Cup moments.
There is an element of like, where does it end, and where do you draw lines, and where, and do players then start dreaming up like stuff to get themselves in the limelight? The Richard Cockrell one's
what is
brilliant.
the problem with that?
But if people are like almost planning to go and do some psychological, it gets
You've
a
still
bit.
got to respect what it is.
Yeah.
I think
sure.
you should be allowed
So-
to do a team where you come up right on the front of it, but the problem is it's that Samoa. It was England Samoa, wasn't it? The Rugby League one.
Yeah, it's
because
brilliant.
they do it as a straight line. It makes it way easier. I thought it was actually quite
And they're
good.
all bound arms, aren't they? So there's no physical. It's not like you're
That makes you
pushing
quite
each other.
vulnerable though.
Yeah,
if someone flips.
but it's nose to nose like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
And it
your
was
arms
quite
are-
good by Samoa. They sort of stepped back to do the bit where they send their arms forward in the challenge and everything else like that. But it was great to finish with those two guys head to head.
What year was
could
the Richard Cockrell? Because even I remember that. So that's 96. So I'm 6 years old. I even remember that now. 5, 6. When I started playing rugby, that's what I'm talking about the excitement of it. Is those sorts of moments. Like the Haka is so big,
But
especially
these are the
when you're
moments
young.
the game needs. Like, I
But that
I
image
thought
of
I
Owen
loved
sort
Cockrell.
of
I thought he was brilliant.
grinning down at it. Yeah.
Did that go up in the team room off the back of that semi-final win? Owen's smirk?
No,
it certainly was front page
it
around the
pops
world.
up on my TikTok or my Instagram feed like every now and again, and I watch it as a spectator. I didn't realise, but Faz looks cool doing that.
Yeah, it does.
It's pretty cool. And then Manu's just looks scary. I'm just in my own head looking over the top of it.
You're looking at the stars.
You're looking at the plough.
Yeah. But yeah,
Full
and then you see what Marla was doing, and he's just being Marla pretending that he doesn't know what the bloke's saying to him or what line he's talking about. It's hilarious, really. So yeah, it was cool. What an amazing experience to be a part of.
What we were talking about with Tom was a sort of a second half blitz against the All Blacks that took the game away. The thing that was so extraordinary about that semi-final was the first 4 minutes. It looked like the whole thing had been orchestrated, choreographed. Everybody knew exactly what was going on from the kickoff all the way through to Manu's try. Was that something that you had worked on and you knew was coming sort of play by play, or was it just sort of a team in
It's just
full
a
working
team
order?
that had played some good rugby, bringing it all together. Do you know what I mean? Like we'd done it before in moments in games and for full games, but it came together that day again and to another level really in terms of particularly the physicality.
here's a statistic, and actually I read this, and it's a great one from producer Tom. How many games did Manu Tuolangi play for England, having beaten the All Blacks in 2012 all the way through to the start of that 2019 year? So 7 years.
7 years.
Yeah, how many games did he play for England?
Well, he didn't play for like 3.5 of 4 years of that.
Yep.
14.
10 games in 7 years for England. What might have been? It goes back to the point you were making, which is
it's crazy. That is crazy. How many caps has he got? And he's got what, 60, 70 caps, has he?
60 something or other.
And
yeah.
he didn't play for 4 years when he was young. That is crazy.
Yeah. What else do you remember of the game? Do you remember feeling in control throughout, or did you think this is the All Blacks? It's coming. We've got to hold on.
No, I feel like we felt in control. We felt like we were. From the second we did that V, we were enforcing our game on them. And yeah, we felt in control. And then I remember afterwards just how special it felt. A lot of our families were all out there. We couldn't quite believe what we'd done once we'd done it. But it came and went so quickly because we had to flip our focus to a final the next week. So it wasn't a big piss up or a celebration. It was like, wow, how amazing, what have we just done? And now we need to flip our heads to the final. And we thought we were going to win that game. We really did believe we were going to go and win that final.